Hey guys, so excited to be back today and special guest. I was so excited he was going to be in Chicago. Had the pleasure of working with Nick
D'Agostino.
D'Agostino. And he only said that for me like 5 times before we started this video. And with a name like Schertzinger, everybody messes it up, so I feel like I just have a lot of room, but it's probably not good. Anyway, so Nick lives in New York City and is visiting Chicago area just for the weekend with his son. Came in and did the rock and roll half marathon.
Yep.
And got lucky enough to spend a little time with him this morning.
Yeah, it's been very fun.
Yeah, it's been good to touch base.
Yep.
So it's been very fun because through Training Peaks we know each other. I've coached Nick for
Just over a year.
A year?
And a half, yeah.
Year and a half. And it's been really fun to see all his progress. And for me as a coach, it's just been so inspiring to hear your story.
Oh, thank you very much.
Know where you've come and what you've done and what you've accomplished. And so I thought, I've told several of my other athletes about you, and I said, we just got to get this on and a little more. So tell us some more about your background and how you got into run, and then we'll go into how you got into running and got back into running.
Well, sure. In 2001, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and spent a couple of years just wallowing, but decided I wanted to start running. So in 2010, I ran Cincinnati Marathon, the Flying Pig, and just been trying to get better at it, lose some weight, and don't want to ever be in a wheelchair if I can avoid it. So, and then what I'm finding out right now, especially after working with you as a coach, the more running I get in and the better I get at running, it helps with everything else because I stumble a lot because of the MS. So when you're physically better able, you can stop the stumbling and you can catch yourself.
Wow. So so you came about this, how did you decide that you were going to take this step to, not concentrate on everything that was wrong and get into running? What sparked that, running could maybe be that outlet for me?
I was always kind of a runner, even in college. Running was just the way I would try to get some exercise and things like that. And so it was just natural I'd want to run. And it just, like I say, I'd always wanted to run a marathon. And so now it was kind of like, if I don't do it now, maybe I'll never be able to do it. So it really pushed me there. And, as it's turned out, it really seems to help a lot with the MS, and it's been very good. I was just at the neurologist a couple weeks ago, and she says, I can't tell when I look at you anymore. I said, well, if you want to come with me at the end of the marathon, you can tell. I've been accused of having strokes and other things at the end of marathons.
Another thing that I love is when I look in your schedule, a lot of athletes that I work with, they like to run one marathon a year.
Doesn't sound like much fun.
And I look at your schedule. Sometimes they're asked, Nick, what do you want to do this year? And it's like 2 pages long. I'm like, are we going to have any weekends off that we're not racing?
Well, I think part of that is because of the MS, I can't really... I'm not spending a lot of time with trying to be fast and stuff like that. So it's like with my kids, when I got them to run a half marathon with me, a couple of them hadn't trained, and I said, well, what's the big deal? If you have to walk, you walk the whole thing.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. We had a little technical issue that was, of course, completely my fault. So this season, what does this season look, the rest of this year? So I think this is your 4th half. Is this your 4th half? This year? 4th half. So Chicago was 4th half, and then I think you have another 3 halves in the 10K.
At least 3 halves so far.
Or 10 miler. Not a
10 miler.
Not a 10 miler. And
then I've run 2 fulls this year so far. I'm going to run 2 more fulls, and like I said, they're going to be 1 week apart, which should be interesting. Which will get me in Marathon Maniac, which may be a good part, but very excited, and we're pushing to make Marine Corp the big race, and at least right now, I feel really good about it.
yeah.
Although with MS, I've always said running with MS is a full contact sport since I end up on the ground a lot. And I've broken a couple different things, so it's, it's, and as I told you, the biggest challenge is if I'm not thinking about my foot all the time, then I'm suddenly on the ground, wishing I'd been thinking about it.
So how do you just mentally just like try not to have squirrel moments and just focus or
Yeah, it's I guess that's one of the good things about falling down is that it reminds you that you got to keep on thinking about it. And I mean, one thing I can tell you about Chicago that I hated was all the bridges with the open kind of metal. For me, it felt like I was tightrope walking because my foot just doesn't like these changes. But I just screamed at myself as I was running across them and made it across them.
Was there any jugglers?
Yes, there was one guy before the race. He was dressed up as Forrest Gump, and he had a ping pong paddle, and he was doing a ping pong ball. In the other hand, he was throwing. And fortunately, I think I got out far enough ahead of him that I didn't have to worry about him. As opposed to New York, we're going across the Queensboro Bridge. A guy was trying to juggle next to me. I'm like, I don't need this right now.
I've got enough going on in my life
Yes.
that this is not cool.
entertaining for me.
That's funny. Well, good luck, Nick.
Thank you very much.
So impressed with everything you've done.
Thank you.
And how you just take any situation and make the most of it. I've never heard you complain about anything. You just probably curse like when you get off the phone with me or just when you look at the workout.
Oh no, you know. I mean, our biggest challenge right now on the workouts is I want to run more miles, and you're saying why?
Yeah.
But that's fun.
Yeah. But I mean, just once again, I just can't even to look back and see that you're running 3 minutes per mile faster.
It's
now.
kind of fun.
Kind of fun.
Yeah, and
that's like a lifetime improvement, like in a year, and it's just, you're so dedicated to those workouts. Like if something's in there, it's just done, if not twice as much.
Well, that's the fun part.
Yeah, but you keep your heart rate zones right where they're supposed to be. That's what it's all about. It's not really about specific 6 miles here, 5 miles there, or whatever. It's how you're doing it. And you're like dead on with the heart rate and, listening to your body.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
why
it really does feel good because those races last year, I really was trying hard and coming in just very slow and not having a good race. And now it's kind of great. The races are more fun, and I'm getting times which are like, now I don't have to be the last one in the race. As my father said after my first marathon, he looked in the New York AC magazine, and he goes, "It was easy to find your name. It was the last one."
So tell him this year he's going to have to work for it. Right? So, well, thanks
Thank
for
you.
taking the time, and I just can't wait to see what everything that this season brings for you.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay,
And it's been great.
good.